Observers who can't wait for the new first family. Presidential historian Douglas Brinkley, professor of history at Rice University, is with us. Amy Argetsinger of the Washington Post, co-writer of the gossip column Reliable Sources, and Allison Samuels, who's a national correspondent for Newsweek. Start us off here, Doug. You heard Sally Quinn talking about this in terms of the Kennedys. Is this going to be Camelot? Will this be the second coming of the Kennedys?
I think so. Everybody's very excited. I mean, just look at Chicago, how many people came to hear Barack Obama. The thought of young people back in the White House, a bit of joy during these very grim times. People were getting reports in the paper all over Kenya and the world are naming themselves after the Obama children. There's a great feeling of history in the air right now, and everybody wants to be in Washington for the inaugural. The rooms are sold out. I'm expecting just one of the most exciting inaugurals in American history.
I mean, no question, Douglas, he has been an inspiration to an awful lot of people. Allison and Amy, and Allison, let's start with you. What about this issue of schools, private or public, and what kind of signal that sends? Allison?
Well, I think that for Michelle, I think that she wants to, of course, make sure that her children have the best education. That's her focus. And I think Obama has made such a point of saying that he wants to put a lot of money into education that people won't be that offended if they actually go to a private school. They were in a private school in Chicago. I think they want to keep that, you know, sort of consistency going. So I don't think people will be too offended, particularly if Obama pushes for more funding for public schools.
Amy, what do you think about that?
I've been amazed at how emotional people are on this topic. Just the feedback I've been getting from readers. People tend to take this very personally, even though it's not their personal business. A lot of people feel strongly that there should be a public school choice because of the symbolism that involves as support of the public school system. Other people feel that, you know, look, none of your business. It's what these kids do. Other people who, you know, don't think the D.C. school system is so great feel like they shouldn't be taking the hit that way. I've been amazed at how strongly readers feel about this. It's as if it were their choice.
Well, Douglas, give us the historic perspective on this.
Well, look, at the beginning of your segment here, you talked about armored limos and you talked about Secret Service names for the kids. This is about security, and I think most people feel that the private schools are going to be an easier place to monitor and be safer for their kids. The big thing that I think what makes it connected to the Kennedy years is I believe still photography will be how we're usually seeing the kids. Yes, there'll be cameras watching them come to school, but I don't think you're going to see the Obama kids doing interviews. Barack Obama had his kids this summer do it. He caught some flack for it. I'm looking for some great White House photographs, and in future years there'll be books about the Obamas in the White House. It's going to become folklore stuff.
If he continues to use the Resolute desk, perhaps we'll have a picture of Sasha or Malia under the desk in the way that John Kennedy Jr. was captured. Amy, what about this idea of White House guests? You know, we heard that they may be out in the social circuit a lot more than the Bushes were. Do you expect that we're going to see a lot of friends coming over to the White House? They did travel with a circle of friends on the campaign trail. Are we expecting to see a lot of sleepovers as well?
You have to figure that. I mean, it's for the couple who's in the White House, having guests over, it's very much like anyone else who's doing entertaining. You have a guest list because you have social obligations you need to pay back. In the case of the Obamas, they have a lot of friends who've helped them get where they are very fast. And I think you're going to see a lot of interesting people coming through. It's difficult for anyone in this situation because the guest lists are so closely scrutinized.
Well, what about that point, Allison? Will their guest list be very much scrutinized? I mean, let's take a look at the Clintons. They had all those sleepovers in the Lincoln bedroom. Will we see the same level of scrutiny with the Obamas?
I think it probably even more so because I think the Obamas are going to have to really try to be as diverse as possible. I think people are going to want to see, you know, who are they inviting? Are they inviting just a certain group of people, just African Americans? Are they inviting, you know, people straight down the line? I think everything they do, being the first African American couple in the White House, is going to, you know, be under great scrutiny. So it really doesn't matter if it's this or private schools versus public schools. And that's one thing that's important to remember too, as the first African Americans, security is going to be really paramount. So I think people will really appreciate the fact if they have to go to a private school.
And Allison, one more question. What role do you think Michelle Obama will take in perhaps making over the White House to the Obama's own tastes? And how do you think she'll define her role there as First Lady?
Well, that's going to be really interesting to see because I think she's going to do it very gradually given the economic crisis the country is in. I don't think she wants to make any big changes soon. I also think that's not necessarily her forte. I mean, she's not, you know, that's not exactly who she is, you know, changing the curtains and all that. I don't think that's her focal point right at this moment. But I think she will try to bring as much as she can that has to do with their culture and with her background. I think some of that will be a part of it.
We'll see. We got to go, folks. Thanks very much for being with us. Allison Samuels, Doug Brinkley, Amy Argett-Singer. Really appreciate it. President-elect Obama